He's the tallest man on the radio, so sit right back and enjoy the show. Fly through the air like a ballistic missile. Here's your host, Ben Kissel.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Ben Kissel Politics, the greatest political podcast going today. I am Ben Kissel on Instagram at BenKissel1, joined by Kyle Plouffe.
What's up?
At Kyle Plouffe. Check the show out live on Patreon, patreon.com/diebud. Comment, contribute, let us know your thoughts on the wacky world of a mostly American politics. Also, shoot us an email, okbudpod@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts. Lots of stuff to get to today. We're going to focus on the war. No, not the war in the Middle East between Israel and Syria. We're going to focus on the war. No, not the war in the Middle East between Israel and Hamas and Palestine. We're going to focus on the war. No, not the war between Russia and Ukraine. We're going to focus on the culture war.
Oh.
Indeed, the biggest war facing the American people. Donald Trump has thrown his hat into the ring when it comes to renaming the NFL team, currently the Washington Commanders. He wants to go back in time and call it the Washington Redskins once again. He also wants the Cleveland Guardians to go back to the once famed, as we know from the movie Major League, Cleveland Indians. Massive, massive distraction coming from the White House, given everything that's going on. We'll talk about Epstein and a whole bunch of other stuff as well coming up. But this is just interesting because in order to change the narrative, all it takes is one little tweet or one little truth from Truth Social, and bang, the whole narrative is shifted, and now we're talking football in America.
Yeah. I mean, there's Native American tribes that are suing to get it back to the Indians and the Guardians, or the Indians and
the old skins
Redskins.
there.
Yeah.
I think they should go with the Wild Hogs.
Yeah.
The Washington Wild Hogs. I think that would be the best possible name, but they can put that mascot back on there. I like the Native American mascot's badass.
Yeah. It's actually a person.
Mm-hmm. It was actually a person, and as Cal said, many of the Native American tribes are they want their history to be remembered, but of course, who are the people writing the history? So I understand also people being like, maybe Redskins ain't the right name. Maybe we could have a compromise, bring the logo back, and again, go with not the fantastic movie from Tim Allen, but go with the name Wild Hogs. That's what I would say.
Big Red Hogs.
Big Red Hogs. Oh, my God. Seems like I'm back in the locker room during wrestling practice. What was the name of the guy?
They say it was like a composite of portraits, most notably Blackfeet chief named White Calf.
Ooh,
and
that's me.
The design in 1972 was proposed by Walter Wetzel, a former Blackfoot tribal chairman.
Got you. Wetzel. So Donald Trump calling immediately on the Washington Commanders to change their name again back to the Redskins. But how does he have the leverage in this case? Well, evidently that football stadium they play with in old Washington, D.C. is in shambles. Apparently a bunch of pipes were breaking and a bunch of human sewage was dropping on the heads of the football fans.
Oh, poop stadium.
Yeah,
Nice.
That's not good. Be like, oh, I went to go watch the Washington Commanders. All I came back with was this horrible case of syphilis on account that I opened my mouth all wrong and a piece of human dump went down my gullet. This is what Donald Trump posted on Truth Social. He says, the Washington whatevers, also a great name.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe that's what we deserve as a country. Maybe we can't handle anything anymore.
Yeah.
So everything should just be the whatever. Oh, the and buts, the no shits, the kind of cools.
Yeah, I like it.
Maybe that's what we deserve.
Sure.
So Washington whatevers. That's the new name for the Washington Commanders. Is the whatevers, because I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah. 6 points for the whatevers.
6 points, whatevers. Let's go.
People are liking it in the chat.
The Washington whatevers, he says, should immediately, and you know he's serious because he put it in all caps,
Oh.
change their name back to the Washington Redskins football team. And then he says, there's a big clamoring for this.
Well, you could tell he's not a sports fan because he said football team at the end.
Right.
They were called the Washington football team when they weren't called the Redskins.
Also, if you want to watch a great documentary on Donald Trump and football, I think it was the USFL.
Oh, yeah.
He completely collapsed that league because he was one of the owners who was like, yo, fuck this shit. Let's go head to head with the NFL. And the NFL was like, really? You're going to go head to head with us?
Stomp.
And then they did. And then everyone was like, what was that whole franchise called, the USFL? No can do. He said, likewise, the Major League Baseball team, Cleveland Guardians, needs to revert back to their longtime name, the Cleveland Indians. I will say, I know this from my friend Jeff Dye, who's a comedian. Right. He was saying, and I believe this to be true, the Cleveland Indians initially were named the Cleveland Indians as a nickname because they actually had the most amount of Indian Native American players on their team. So then everyone's like, oh, you're the Cleveland Indians.
Right.
And then they became the Cleveland Indians. So that's not necessary. That's not a pejorative.
No, a lot of people who are Native Americans say that they want it back.
But then they also had a dude named Chief Wahoo. And then I think people were mad about Chief Wahoo because he's just kind of a drunken Indian character.
Well, yeah, it could have been. Oh, yeah, the actual logo there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So maybe compromise.
Right.
Maybe do away with Chief Wahoo, the drunken Indian mascot. Go back to the Indians and get something respectful.
Yeah, why not?
Come on, people. There's got to be a middle ground in all of this. Again, not the biggest issue facing the American people, but I find it to be interesting. Because, of course, this all comes on the heels of Donald Trump and the Epstein list, or lack thereof, fiasco. What does the chat have to say?
Chris G is saying Representative Jim Jordan tweeted in support of the name change back to the Indians, but didn't care at all when all the OSU wrestlers were getting molested by Dr. Richard Strauss.
Oh, my God, that's right. For those that don't know, Jim Jordan, representative out of Ohio, he was a wrestler. And he is a real schmuck. He came in with the Freedom Caucus, but every single policy that he has put forth has nothing to do with freedom. He's a total piece of trash. You thought the scandal in Penn State was a big deal with Sandusky and Paterno and that whole crew. The OSU scandal, much less talked about, swept under the rug completely. And Jim Jordan was not just complicit in the cover-up, but was one of the main instigators of the cover-up. And for some reason, again, this is the person who we're supposed to trust when it comes to handling the most sensitive information facing the American people, specifically, again, when it comes to the Jeffrey Epstein scandal. So, interesting, coming from Donald Trump, little culture war red meat. He's losing his base, or the base is upset with him. His approval rating right now is around 39%. It was as high as 48% just a couple of months back. And his approval rating for his immigration policy, it was at 59%, and now they're saying around 49%. Again, those are just numbers, but what does it actually mean when it comes to policy and political support? We will see more when it comes to the midterms right around the corner. Well, let's move on just briefly here when it comes to Alligator Alcatraz. Apparently, we might be on the cusp of an international incident.
Uh-oh.
They got a couple of Italians there.
Oh.
Did you hear about this?
Mario and Luigi?
No, not Mario and Luigi, who are Asian.
They're Asian? Oh, yeah, Nintendo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't say... Like when he says, like everyone says, like, I'm a Mario, I'm a Luigi, or something like that.
Yeah.
He doesn't say that.
Yeah, it's I forget what it was.
What does he actually say? It's something crazy.
It's a me, Mario.
Yeah, but he doesn't say that.
Right.
He says something. It's something in Japanese.
Yes.
But then we're all weird and dumb over here, so we're like, oh, he must be saying his own name, like he's, an autistic child trying to pass a test.
Yeah, they're saying that there's a rumor that it actually the iconic Italian cartoon plumber actually says it's Sumi Mario.
Oh.
Instead of it's a me, a Mario.
Interesting.
It's Sumi.
2 Italian nationals, they were living in the United States. They have become inmates at what is known as Alligator Alcatraz. Fernando Eduardo Ortiz, 63, and Gaetano Catano Mirabella Costa, 45, were both sent to the facility. Again, the facility surrounded by alligators. Italy's foreign ministry is real pissed off about this, and they have said, can we get our guys back? Now, I will say this, when it comes to having Italians over there surrounded by alligators, those alligators better be scared.
Yeah. They get strong marble countertop making hands.
Exactly.
Very strong.
And what else do they like? Alligator leather.
Oh, right.
You got to think about the alligator boot the Italian makes. So if I'm them, I'm like, sweet, all I see is business. You see alligators, you see a deterrent. All I see is every single inmate in here is about to be looking real Mussolini fine. Because say what you want about the fascists, as you should. But fashion wasn't one of their major faux pas. Those Italians under Mussolini and under... they were looking sharp. Hugo Boss all over the place.
That's right. Hugo Boss did start all the Nazi stuff, huh?
Bunch of bastards.
Wow.
So the Italian government, led by Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, who is quite a interesting character in their own right, they have not publicly commented on the case. However, they are aware of the case, and they are none too pleased that their Italian brothers are stuck in swampy old Florida. Oh. The Italian opposition, they are actively calling for an intervention by Meloni and her foreign minister Antonio Tajani. They say all of this is all this normal and acceptable for Giorgia Meloni. So they're saying, hey, buddy, yo, you got to be tough. You got to get our prisoners back.
Yeah.
This makes the Italians look weak. And that's the one thing the Italians don't like to do is look weak. They like to look all strong and full of pasta.
And romantic.
They are romantic, but I think the Italian romance has sort of been hit a little bit with cultural norms shifting.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because I think Italian romance was more like, I'll grope you, then we're together.
I'm Italian.
I mean, look what happened with Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo's defense literally was, hey, I'm Italian. And then all these girls were like, hey, he kept on trying to finger my butthole during one of these meetings. And he's like, I'm Italian.
That's how we say hello in Florence.
Yeah. Florence, New York.
Yeah.
So the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has confirmed both men are detained. They say both of these criminal illegal aliens are being detained in Alligator Alcatraz under Donald Trump and Secretary Dog Killer Kristi Noem. They say if you break the law, you will face the consequences. So don't you feel safer knowing that these two middle-aged Italian folks are surrounded by crocodiles and alligators, all to protect the American people from what? I don't know. Good mozzarella cheese? No idea.
They're in a rush to fill that place.
They really are.
We were just talking about how it was like getting built, set up.
Well, it turns out if you kind of create a makeshift Alcatraz, you don't have to do it right.
It's got plywood doors.
It's trash. And it's very inhumane and awful. I've watched a couple of different tours. What they let us see, apparently sewage, speaking of Washington football stadium, apparently the sewage is overflowing. People are getting bit by mosquitoes the size of baseballs. It is not right what they're doing over there whatsoever. And again, it is obviously a political play and has actually nothing to do with the safety of the American people because, as we've talked about before, the folks who they are detaining are the easy pickings, the folks who are hanging out at Home Depot and Lowe's. I was promised they were going to get the criminals off the streets, but I don't see the criminals off the streets. I see the working man and working woman getting drug away, forced to hang out with Italians. Oh my God. Get me out of here. What's next? The Polish? I always make fun of the Polish, but I'm part Polish. So come on. So they have raised a bunch of money. This is according to their legal team. They say he's a loving husband and dad. He has provided for all of them since day one. He's a father figure to me and many others. He's a hard worker who only wanted to leave the country with his family after paying taxes and working hard the whole time. He has been here. Alligator Alcatraz is obviously being described as a concentration camp by Ortiz, who is currently there. This is what they say. They treat us like criminals. It's a pursuit of humiliation. We're all workers and people fighting for our families. They go on to say, we are literally caged like a chicken coop. There are 32 of us in a cage. The bathrooms are open and everyone sees you. Goes on, I don't even have the chance to speak to a lawyer or a judge. Get us out of this nightmare. The people that I have seen on social media, mostly fat whites, taking pictures next to the sign. What a bunch of fucking losers.
Yeah.
Anyone who takes a picture next to a corrections facility being like, look at this, look at those assholes. You are such a putz. And they all look like they're missing a chromosome. They all look so stereotypical.
Yeah.
And you're hurting the perception of white Americans internationally.
Yeah, like everybody in their gene pool drowned.
They really are hideous monsters. So on a serious note, that has got to be shut down. They're not even putting the right people in there if it was going to have a valid reason for existing. And it is obviously a political play. And the people who are suffering are those people who are currently surrounded again by alligators so that Ron DeSantis can pretend to be tough on immigration. All right, let's move on when it comes to Ghislaine Maxwell. The House Oversight Committee, they have officially, or are about to officially, subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell to speak in front of Congress.
Wow.
So will we hear anything new? Hopefully. This is a GOP-led House Oversight Committee. They are seeking to subpoena Ghislaine Maxwell. It's led by a fellow named Tim Burchett, and they also requested by Chairman James Comer, a Republican out of Kentucky. They have summoned the imprisoned British socialite for testimony. This is according to a committee representative. They say, since Miss Maxwell is in federal prison, the committee will work with the Department of Justice and Bureau of Prisons to identify a date when committee can depose her. Obviously, again, this being a Republican-led committee, we'll see how Donnie T and his acolytes within the White House view this, because his fingerprints are going to be potentially all over the testimony coming from Ghislaine Maxwell. And because he didn't save her the way that she thought he was going to save her, she's probably kind of pissed off back there. I would go as far as saying she's stewing.
Yeah, it's an odd time, especially for everything to be in the Republican majority. Have her come up and be like, hey, let me talk about some people that you all work with.
Yep. So we'll keep you updated on that, and obviously we'll play some sound. I don't know if they're going to actually let us see what is truly being said, because, of course, as we've talked about, a lot of the stuff is done behind closed doors, and they say the American people aren't ready to hear about it.
Yeah.
So we better not show them the absolute truth. So what are the questions, the 4 key questions when it comes to Ghislaine Maxwell? The Trump administration, again, struggling to figure out how to escape this controversy. Trump said this past Tuesday that he wasn't consulted in advance about the outreach to Maxwell, but added, I think it would be something. Sounds appropriate to do. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So not exactly as definitive as he usually speaks. Before her criminal case, Maxwell had already testified twice in civil suits stemming from the allegations about her role in Epstein's crimes. As we talked about on OK Bud this week, I think that she got in. She started dating Jeffrey Epstein. Maybe she was victimized herself in some ways, and then she became the perpetrator. Evidently, that's the MO of a lot of this stuff. We saw it, as we talked about again in OK Bud, when it comes to Usher giving Diddy Bieber.
Yep. Exactly.
Because Usher was molested by Diddy, and then Usher became the person who gave Bieber to Diddy as
a
new recruiter. And I think that was kind of Maxwell's entire arc.
I think
with
those
Epstein.
are the worst of the worst, because you know what it's like to be on the other side, and you're still like, oh, I'm on the good side now. Let me be the lieutenant here.
So she's testified twice in civil lawsuits, again stemming from the allegations about her role with Epstein and his crime. Apparently, she has never given her versions of events to federal prosecutors. During a couple of pretrial proceedings, government prosecutors and Maxwell's defense attorneys acknowledged they never even broached the subject of plea negotiations.
Well, that's silly.
So she was up shit creek without a paddle. Again, world's smallest violin.
Yeah.
This woman was, as I like to say, born in the dugout after already hitting a home run. And then she just decided to go up to bat again and strike the fuck out.
Yeah.
Her father was a multi-billionaire. Like, why are you there? She has to just look in the mirror, that little piece of metal that they call a mirror in prison, and be like, how did I fuck this up?
Yeah. I mean, people just are power hungry, and they want it in any way they can. And
But
even if it's like,
she already had it.
I know, but even if it's in control of all these parties and everything, you still want to be around it. And if it's bad shit going on around them, you're in trouble.
My God. Anyway, this is according to former U.S. Attorney Allison Moe. This is what they told Maxwell's judge back in November of 2021. They say the government has not issued any plea offers to the defense, and the defense has not requested any plea any plea deals from the government. So we'll see what happens there. What could Maxwell tell the DOJ that we don't already know?
Yeah.
Maxwell herself says, well, maybe not that much. She argued in court papers ahead of her trial that the allegations against her and Epstein were so old. She's like, these are old.
Oh, she's saying statute of limitations. That's not innocence that she's claiming.
She says it goes back to the 90s.
Yeah.
Who cares? Gross. She contended that witnesses may have died or that their memories have failed and faded. So therefore, anything that they say should not be taken seriously. The filings include categories labeled dead witnesses and the lost testimony. Which sounds like a new Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones and the dead witnesses and the lost testimony. It goes on to say witnesses whose memories have also failed or been corrupted, and records that have been lost or destroyed. So what would be in it for Maxwell? Well, she's currently serving a 20-year prison sentence, so she's thinking maybe if I cooperate, I might be able to get out of here a little bit earlier. The Justice Department could agree to file what is known as a Rule 35 motion. So this is Rule 35, which is a request for a federal judge to lower a prison sentence based on certain conduct by a defendant. And I guess you can do this retroactively.
Yeah, you bring it from 20 down to like 14, 15, the age of the girls that were at the island.
Oh, there you go.
You know, all works out.
Perfect. The catch, however, is that it is up to a judge whether to grant such a request. And in Maxwell's case, it's now being overseen by U.S. District Judge Paul Engelmeyer, who is an Obama appointee whom the Trump administration really hates and who's called out multiple times. So perhaps politics being at play, Engelmeyer might say, fuck it, get out of here, you crazy bee. I want nothing to do with you, and tell Donnie he's a schmuck in my book.
It's such an insane defense that she has. She's like pretty much just saying, guys, we got away with it for so long.
Yeah.
What are we even doing here?
It was the 90s. She should wear hypercolor shirts and stuff in the courtroom and be like, remember?
Saved by the Bell?
Saved by the Bell? Remember the Max? Remember the dance-off?
Yeah.
Who among you didn't want to fuck Lisa Turtle? You know, she was only 15 in that show. The Saved by the Bell defense.
Yeah, exactly.
So that could happen. Rule 35, that could get her out. But again, the likelihood of that is small because the district judge looking over that is a dude named Paul Engelmeyer, who's an Obama dude. The second way is that Donald Trump could just simply pardon her or commute her sentence. And I do think, unless she goes in there under oath and completely throws Donnie under the bus, I do think that that is the most likely scenario. I think on the way out of Washington, D.C., Donald Trump signs it, says, fuck it, let's go, nothing to see here, let's move on. That, to me, is her best bet.
You think he's going to do it while he still has a few days in office, or is he going to be? Is that his last thing as he's running out the door?
No, running out the door. Maybe running out the door. Who knows?
But that, I mean, it all goes to if he wants, if he cares about legacy or not.
He doesn't.
People are going to be like, what the fuck did you do?
Well, I'm sure many people have seen the news about Donald Trump's health. He's got a venial disease.
A venial?
His veins are all messed up.
Oh, yeah, he's got his thick ankles.
Yeah, he's got his thick ankles. So blood is pooling in the ankle. I have blood pooling in my ankle too. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to have thick ankles, okay? I got to admit.
There you go.
It's because I had deep vein thrombosis.
Oh.
Yeah, only the coolest of the cool get that.
Yeah.
But what it means is the blood ain't going up to the heart right. So by the time he's out, he's probably only got a couple of years left.
Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine if he dies in office and Biden didn't.
Yeah, then we have President J.D. Vance.
I think that's going to happen anyway.
All those memes.
Yeah.
We'll see. J.D. isn't exactly the most charming character when you actually listen to him speak. Anyway, according to Tennessee Republican Tim Burchart, they say this deposition will help the American people understand how Jeffrey Epstein was able to carry out his evil actions for as long as he did without being brought to justice. Now, obviously, this is a Republican-led oversight committee, but the Democrats are using this as a massive political win because it is, for them, as soon as the DOJ decided, or as soon as Pam Bondi, the AG, decided not to publish any air quotes list, the Democratic Party immediately took that and ran with it and have been able to get some weeks of good press off of this extremely ridiculous promise that anyone thought that Donald Trump was going to fulfill. The promise, of course, of releasing the Epstein files, that now being gone because of Pam Bondi and Donald Trump realizing his name is all over it and not wanting to release it because it's going to make him look bad. The Democrats have gotten a little bit of mileage off it. Yeah. But now the Republicans are trying to kneecap that and say, you know what? Fuck it. We'll set up a committee. And within that committee, we're going to get the big dog in, Ghislaine Maxwell. So what do you think is going to happen? What do we got here? What's the chat say?
Jeff says he thinks that's the actual plan they wanted Vance from the start. So get him in as vice president, let him get some goodwill, I guess. And then I don't know how much goodwill this whole administration is going through or getting right now. Jeff said he'd probably use an auto pen on his way out the door for Ghislaine.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of auto pen, there was just a large deal signed by CBS. Donald Trump has officially scored $36 million.
Oh.
Moving on here. He's got $36 million in the bank because of how CBS 60 Minutes edited the Kamala Harris interview. That is official now, so he is going to be making a hell of a lot of money off of that ridiculously stupid choice by 60 Minutes, which has had trickle-down effects throughout the entertainment industry, obviously, when it comes to Stephen Colbert and, the Late Late Show. It is no longer in existence as of next year. So Stephen Colbert, many people say he was crucified on the political cross, but apparently they're saying that the show is kind of losing money and it's kind of an arcane style show, The Late Show.
Yeah. So
I'm not sure if they were going to get rid of it anyway or if this is just...
Yeah.
I mean, either way, if you're Colbert, you're going to be more famous after this. So it doesn't matter. Like, he's going to be just fine.
Yeah, if he goes back to satire, I think he would explode in popularity.
I mean, it's almost going to be nice not to have to deal with the HR and the corporate structure of CBS. Now you can just be, unhinged or hinged however you want to be and do whatever the fuck you want to do. But Donald Trump did end up scoring $36 million in that settlement. So my goodness gracious. What a time for him to be.
Oh, Chris has some hot goss here in the Patreon chat. saying that he's seen some things that claim J.D. Vance was the one who coordinated the Wall Street Journal release of the Trump letter to Epstein. Ooh, playing dirty.
Interesting indeed. That was the one where they say Donald Trump drew a little naked person.
Through some stick figure boobs.
Yeah. And then Donald Trump is like, I don't draw. That's what he said.
I can't draw.
He said he doesn't. He's like, I don't. Yeah, I wrote the letter, but I didn't draw anything on it. That's stupid. That is stupid.
Oh, my God.
All right. Oh, God, there's so much stuff to get to. All right. Let's talk about the Republican. Okay, speaking of distractions, today we'll focus on distractions. Next episode, we'll get into some more job stuff. Republicans, they are pushing for a bill that would force the Kennedy Center Opera House to be renamed after Melania Trump.
Oh. She's a woman of the arts.
Yeah. So House Republicans are pushing to rename the Kennedy Center's Opera House after Melania Trump. The House Appropriations Committee is considering an amendment to an existing bill that would call for the theater to be renamed the First Lady Melania Trump Opera House.
Oh, my God.
The measure passed 33-25.
Jesus.
Representative Mike Simpson, a Republican from Idaho, they introduced the bill. So thank you. Nothing is going on in Idaho that is more important than renaming the Kennedy Opera House the First Lady Melania Trump Opera House.
Oh, God.
So ridiculous. So they just throw they just throw so much against the wall as, again, a distraction, so we don't discuss what really matters, which we do discuss on this show. But on this show, we're discussing some of the distraction stories. Why not? So Mike Simpson, Republican out of Idaho, he introduced the bill as an amendment to a funding bill for the Interior Department, Environmental Protection Agency, and other related agencies. This is what Simpson said. This is an excellent way to recognize Melania Trump's support and commitment to promoting the arts. I would encourage members to vote for this Republican en bloc amendment. The Opera House can hold more than 2,300 attendees.
Oh.
So isn't that nice? So watch out. You might be attending the First Lady Melania Trump Opera House in the very near future.
They're probably trying to throw this in while the Brian Kohberger case is going on because the sentencing's tomorrow. So they're probably trying to just get this through while no one's paying attention.
Right. Well, don't we already know what he's going to be sentenced to?
It's going to be life in prison, but there's going to be victim impact statements and everything tomorrow. So it's going to be a crazy day.
Oh, my God. So Representative Chelly Pingree, they're a Democrat. They called the amendment divisive. They said this is just straight up divisive. Yeah. Pingree argues that Republicans, quote, snuck in, I think, something that is slightly divisive, which is renaming one section of the Kennedy Center after the family member of this administration. Other congressional Republicans have pitched similar ideas, including renaming D.C. area airport after Trump, putting Trump on the $100 bill, and one of the more famous ideas was carving Donald Trump's face into Mount Rushmore. But apparently you do that, it's going to mess with all the other faces, and then Washington nose is going to fall off. So that wouldn't be good. So it just goes to show you, they really are set hell-bent on doing anything but helping the American people. Mm-hmm. What did you do with your time in office? Well, okay, yeah, I know. Inflation's high. Gas is high. I understand. Yeah, energy prices are dog shit. Yep. No, living wage. It's a dying wage. I get it. But have you noticed that we renamed the Opera House after First Lady Melania Trump? Yeah. For all of you people to come from Idaho to D.C. and then enjoy a nice play or a nice opera.
Yeah.
Under the name Melania Trump.
I wouldn't be surprised if they start using it as a prison.
The Opera House?
Yeah.
Well, that'd be kind of nice, actually.
They're converting everything to prisons these days.
Yeah. That would be one of the nicer prisons.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Can I stay in the green room?
I would love that. All right. Well, speaking of prisons, we are all in prison, aren't we?
Uh-oh.
We are all in a digital prison. And this is where one Democrat is on the right side. Ron Wyden. He has demanded answers on the shadowy mass collection of DNA from immigrants. Agents often take DNA without explanation, including from thousands of children. DNA surveillance targets immigrants' communities and resembles authoritarian government practices. So this is according to Senator Ron Wyden, and he is completely correct about this. He has slammed the Department of Homeland Security and Department of Justice for massively expanding the DNA collection of immigrant children and adults to permanently store in a national criminal database that could be weaponized, he says, by the Trump administration. Not just the Trump administration, every administration to come, because your DNA ain't changing.
Right, exactly.
So now they're tracking these people again from cradle to the grave. So Wyden, he says, I want answers. Evidently, the DNA collection from immigrants is up 5,000%. Department of Homeland Security agents have failed to clearly notify immigrants their DNA is being taken, and they fail to follow the department's own policies. Dare I say that? It ain't right.
It ain't right.
So, Ron Wyden, you are correct. This is what he has to say. He says governments exercising such broad discretion to involuntarily collect and retain DNA are repressive authoritarian regimes, also engaging in gross human rights violations. And you don't want them when they're gross.
No.
I'll take a human rights violation, but a gross one? Yuck.
Sticky.
Such as genocide, ethnic cleansing, torture, and more. He wrote this letter to Christine Noem. He says, in fact, the U.S. government has condemned the involuntary collection of DNA by the People's Republic of China and has sanctioned entities engaged in this practice. Yet this practice appears to be going on our own soil. They say there was 133,000 children, some as young as 4 years old, whose DNA has been unlawfully detained by law enforcement. So in order for Congress and the American people to understand this, Wyden requested answers to the following questions, and he wants these answers by August 1st. First, what is the United States government's interest in collecting and retaining DNA from non-citizens? Which agencies, including DHS subcomponent agencies, has the Attorney General authorized to participate in the DNA collection? And please describe in detail how DHS is able to access and utilize DNA samples. And lastly, please describe in detail how DOJ is able to access and utilize DNA samples and related information collected in the course of immigration detention and enforcement once other samples and information are retained. So there are a lot of questions that he is going to be asking. And I think the American people deserve to know, why did he be taking all our DNA?
Yeah, seriously. That's very scary.
And also in this case, obviously, you might be saying, well, they're undocumented. That's always the test. They always test it on people first.
Yep.
And then they come for you. That's why there's drones overhead right now in America. We tested them on the Middle East and currently testing them in Europe as well. And they always come home to roost because they're not biodegradable. And they have to be used because there's a lot of money in them being used.
And DNA can be replicated, too, after a while. Chris G is saying here, I feel like we need new words because using Nazi internment camps, etc. seems hyperbolic, but what's happening is really shitty, which I completely agree with.
There we go. All right. Well, just lastly, speaking of the military and speaking of really shitty, apparently, so there's all the trans stuff in the military, right? They're like, we're going to check your genitals. Well, apparently in the military, there is a monitor now for the bathrooms.
There's a what?
The monitor, a bathroom monitor.
Oh, wow.
Somebody's bathroom monitoring. Military says it will continuously monitor bathrooms to comply with anti-trans orders.
You pooping in there?
So isn't that interesting?
That's weird.
Pete Hegseth, a man who I've met many, many times, he said he doesn't wash his hands.
Oh.
Which I don't know if that guy should be in charge of bathrooms.
Especially if after a shit. I mean, sometimes we pee, don't always wash our hands.
Sure.
Or we pretend to while people are in there.
Well, you got to. Yeah, you got to kind of fake it. But then sometimes the water doesn't come out and you're like, fuck it. Sometimes it's kind of funny because you put your hand under there and then you take it out and then the water starts, but you've already done the thing.
You're like, fuck.
Pete Hegseth's Department of Defense has sent a memo to the White House. It's 11 pages about the steps it has taken to comply with Donald Trump's anti-trans executive order. According to a copy of the memo, it was obtained by 404 Media using FOIA.
Ooh.
That's the Freedom of Information Act. Among dozens of actions, the Pentagon has said that it has not only changed the signs on the bathrooms to reflect biological sex, but also they continue to, quote, monitor intimate spaces to ensure ongoing compliance. So, somebody in there was just like, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll do it. I already put some cameras in all the bathrooms.
That's what I'm into.
It's what I'm into. I'm gonna make sure no ding-dongs are in the wrong one and no snooches are in the wrong one. This is as long as they're all shitting. I don't even want to think about our military members as women or men. I want to think of them as American.
That's right.
Who cares?
American poops. As long as they're not red, white, and blue.
I told you,
You get in trouble.
Well, that would be bad.
Yeah, that's a disease.
I'm not sure what you would have to eat to get red, white, and blue poops. But the military has ordered, quote, a review hold on questionable content. This is according to Stars and Stripes. They say you got to be real careful out there because there are people that are using the wrong bathroom. He says he's defending women because I don't know, because that's what he says regarding this isn't about women in sports and shit like that. This is about people who are in the military. And I say, come one, come all.
Yeah.
And gender neutral bathrooms for the military. Again, who gives a shit? I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, bad things can happen. Bad things do happen on bases.
I suppose
like that,
that's true.
I don't know.
That's true. I'm just not sure if we need somebody out there sniffing the doors.
Yeah, I think that might be a little much.
Drop your trowel. Let's see. It's also out of all the things happening right now, is this the most important thing affecting our military? I also get the feeling that when it comes to Hegseth, they just want to have him do something.
Right.
Because all the people are like, how the fuck did you get this job? You were from Fox and Friends? Now you're in charge of the military?
Yep.
Why don't you go and be on bathroom patrol?
Yeah, he's like, I got ideas.
I know the difference between a man and female dookie. The Pentagon's memo is far more extensive than anything that's been seen before. He really worked on this. He really, really worked on it. The Pentagon said it identified 69 people who it believed had jobs that fit the description and put them on leave.
Whoa.
Yeah, they said, we believe that you're pooping in the wrong bathroom. You're on leave.
Jeez.
But 67 of them were able to return to their jobs.
Yeah.
So there's just 2.
Right.
And that's just because they were shitting in the urinal.
Dishonorable discharge right there.
The Pentagon said it has stopped all social media posts from accounts for 10 days at all levels of the department in order to prepare for reorientation of content on the platforms. So there you go. So they put a pause on all social media.
Wow.
So I guess no more tweeting from the toilet right now. There's a pause on it. God damn. It's so frickin' stupid. Yeah. I can't believe that this is what the U.S. military, or at the very least what Pete Hegseth, the man who is supposed to be in charge of the U.S. military, is focused on right now. Again, today's episode, a lot of the distraction stories. But I guess that's just what, he's very focused on it.
Yeah, Jeff is saying here, Jeff and Chris, they're both former military members. He said bathroom monitor is somehow actually beneath gate guard duty. But he says, I also promise there is not actually a single bathroom monitor out there in reality.
You don't think so?
That's what he's saying.
I'll do it. Sign me up.
Yeah, can I not be in the military, but can I get that post?
Yeah, I got the brown heart. Yeah, I did bathroom duty for 10 years. I got the brown heart. I also got the purple and red heart. Well, that was bad.
Purple crapper?
Yeah, the purple crapper heart. That's where I rescued somebody who was dying on the toilet from a heart attack.
Oh, my God.
Not everybody can do it. So anyway, go to sleep knowing that it's just fine. People with PP are pooping in the right bathroom and so on and so forth. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I suppose we can end it for today. My God, there's so much stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
But we got another show coming.
We do.
We got more shows this week. All right. Just lastly on comments, what do people have to say about anything?
Chris G is saying we used to fight back during supervised drug tests by pulling our pants all the way down and peeing like a toddler. So whoever was watching us also had to see our ass, but mostly just for funsies.
I love that. Good for you.
Wagner Logic is saying slippery slope, next military approved glory holes.
Ooh, let's go.
Yeah, you never know what's going to be on the other side of that hole, but
Yeah.
you kind of do.
You kind of do. There was one dude from did you hear that story about the guy in Texas who fled to Russia?
No.
He took his whole family to Russia, and then he became a Russian citizen, and then they sent him to war.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. That's crazy.
So, I mean, it could be worse. You could have to join the Russian military. At least in the U.S. military, you got crap patrol.
Jeez.
Anyway, anything else?
I believe that someone, Jeff said Alligator Opera House
Let's go.
about the thing. And then Akon said, even if they were planning on getting rid of the Late Show, the timing is questionable at best. But I think they kind of knew
Right.
what was coming because Taylor Tomlinson, she was the host of After Midnight. She's a comic. She got out of Dodge like over a month ago. If you go back
Yeah.
and look at headlines, she said she wasn't coming back for the third season, but they might have been like, okay, we're getting rid of these shows. And she was just like, oh, okay, I'm just going to say I'm leaving. I don't know that to be fact, but
Right.
I think they have the heads up that it was coming.
Yeah, CBS might be just changing a bunch of shit, but it does, again, if you're Colbert, he'll be just fine. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
now he can also be the martyr and so on and so forth. And I'm sure he and John's, you know, because Colbert's production company makes all these shows. Obviously not the show.
Yeah, he was the executive producer of After Midnight as well.
So he'll be just fine. We got to focus on the middle class people of this country who are currently suffering. And we will, on the next episode, we'll talk a little bit more about economics and AI and how it's taken our jobs.
Oh, boy.
And everything else. All right, everyone. Thank you all so much for supporting the show. For those that didn't listen to OK Bud yet, we just signed an ad deal.
Oh, yeah.
So that'll be very, very exciting. And we'll keep on getting better and better and better. And we really appreciate you. Love yourself, be yourself, hail yourself. We will talk to you later on. Bye.
Bye.